Hello, these videos are about business strategy and business value, and today I'm going to be talking about decision making, an uncommon approach to decision making. And I say uncommon because some people do know about it, but it's not widely recognized as an approach to decision making. So if you look up decision making, what you'll find is a lot of information related to the external world and related to data sciences. And what they're trying to do in the data sciences is use algorithms to provide insights to help executives with their decision making. But decision making doesn't take place in the external world. When you finally make a decision, it will take place on the internal world, inside of your sensory apparatus. So is there an algorithm that can help us to get insight for decisions on the internal world? And before I answer that question, I'd like to give you two pieces of information. And the first piece of information is, in the traditions, all the traditions, it seems to be accepted that there are five senses. So there's seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. We have five senses, and this seems to be a common understanding across the different traditions. The second piece of information is related to a webcast that I listened to on May the 27th that was hosted by Enterprise Nation, Emma Jones, and she was interviewing Archie Norman, the chairman of Marks and Spencer's. Now, in the backstory of Archie Norman, he was the chief executive of Asda and was responsible for turning that business around. And he tells a story about how he could walk into any store, almost blindfolded, and just stand at the front of the store, and he would know if that store was being successful or not, by the way that people were talking to each other, moving, the general vibe in the store. So did he have a unique ability? Well, no, he may well have had a unique capacity to use his sensory data, but what he was doing was taking in the information and coming to a conclusion within the inside of his sensory apparatus. And that is a sensory apparatus that we all have. So the answer to the question, is there an algorithm which we can employ within our own sensory apparatus that will help us with decision making, is yes. If you interrogate a decision from seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, and touching, and you interrogate each of those sensory modalities, they will combine to give you an insight into your decision making. And you will find that a more reliable decision has the majority of those sensory faculties present within it, and an unreliable decision will have deleted some of those sensory faculties. So my tip, if you don't believe me, by the way, and often people don't believe this information when they first hear it, my tip is to ask someone to explain their decision and listen to their sensory language. And you can do that by concentrating on the verbs. What are they seeing? What are they hearing? What are they smelling? What are they tasting? And what are they touching? Because those five senses are the external periphery of our internal sensory apparatus, and that's all we have to make sense of our decisions.